औज़ बिल्लाहि मिनश-शैतानिर-रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर-रहमानिर-रहीम। सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व अला आलि मुहम्मदिन कमा सल्लैता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Hassan Raza, the founder of Pep Talk Pakistan and host of today's show. Welcome to Pep Talk Pakistani show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be having this session in two medium. One is Urdu and second is English, so the maximum people can reach to us. Ladies and gentlemen, the main objective of Pep Talk Pakistan is to show the positive image of Pakistan to the world. I'm conducting interviews of different professionals on different topics, and literally, what a feedback that I'm getting. Alhamdulillah, I'm thankful to Allah Almighty that Allah has given me this opportunity. By the way, I am super excited today um, because the guest that we'll be having, I mean, she is amazing and superb. Literally, I am following her since 2007, 2008, when I started my career, and literally, she is a great professional. For me, I think that she is a Wonder Woman. She has trained बहुत लोगों को इन्होंने ट्रेन किया है. मेरी खुशकिस्मती ये है कि मैं अपने आप को बहुत खुशकिस्मत समझ. आज मेरा इनके साथ 1-on-1 सेशन है और मैं श्योर हूँ कि आज के सेशन में हम इनसे बहुत कुछ सीखने वाले हैं. By the way, we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook right now. आज जिस टॉपिक पे हम डिस्कशन करने वाले हैं वो टॉपिक भी बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है और टॉपिक पे हम ये बात करेंगे हाउ टू टर्न योर एक्सपीरियंस एंड एक्सपर्टीज इनटू अ कंसल्टिंग बिजनेस. जब मैं ये सेशन प्लान कर रहा था तो बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन जो थे वो लोगों के आने शुरू हो गए और जब मैंने अपनी स्पीकर का वहां पे कुछ प्लेटफॉर्म पे शेयर किया तो लिटरली व्हाट अ फीडबैक. I mean, we got it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me put our on stream. Her name is Rahila Narejo. She's an advisor and a founder of the Mighty Consultant. Let's welcome Rahila Narejo. Great. Thank you very much, Rahila, for joining us today's show. Literally, I am happy and I'm excited about it. क्योंकि 2008-9 से I'm following you. एक जो आपका जो article था workplace sanity के ऊपर, I mean, amazing and superb. By the way, I feel motivated and excited कि आज का session जो है हमारा बड़ा जबरदस्त होने वाला है. तो again, thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to get started as well.
Great, wonderful. अच्छा रहीला, जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो उस पर तो हम जरूर डिस्कशन करेंगे. बाय द वे, पीपल आर फॉलोइंग अस ऑन लिंक्डइन, यूट्यूब पे भी और फेसबुक पे भी. बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जो कि जॉब सीकर्स हैं जो भी हमें देख रहे हैं. सो हम सबसे पहले आपकी जो सक्सेस स्टोरी है, माशाल्लाह काफी सालों से आप काम करिए, बहुत बड़े बड़े इंडस्ट्री के नाम, पर्टिकुलरली एचआर के बहुत सारे लोगों को मैं जानता हूँ जिनको आपने ट्रेन किया, और हम ये जानना चाहेंगे कि सफर कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ, किस तरह से मतलब क्या क्या हर्डल्स और क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम जो है वो आपको फेस करनी पड़ी और उसके बाद ही कामयाबी का सफर किस तरह से फिर चल पड़ा.
चलिए हम शुरू करते हैं with a little bit थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड एंड मैं पूरी कोशिश करूंगी कि उर्दू के ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मैं बोल सकूं एंड दैट हैज़ समथिंग टू डू जो मेरा बैकग्राउंड है उससे ताल्लुकात है. तो इमेजिन कि आप एक फॉरेन कंट्री में हैं जिधर आप वो कंट्री की ज़बान बड़े मुश्किल से बोलते हैं और बोलते भी है तो जो भी आपके बात सुनता है वो हंसना शुरू करता है. और इमेजिन कि आपकी अरेंज मैरिज हुई है और जो आपका लाइफ पार्टनर है आप उसको बिल्कुल जानते नहीं हैं और आपके इर्द गिर्द ना कोई फैमिली है ना फ्रेंड्स है, किसी को आप नहीं जानते हैं, बिल्कुल आप एक नए मुल्क में आए हैं. एंड इमेजिन दैट. So that is my story. That's how I started in Pakistan. Meri paidaish is actually in Los Angeles. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Did all my education from there और like a good Pakistani daughter, जो हमारे culture में है कि हम अपने माँ बाप का बहुत respect करते हैं, and we value जो हमारे parents हमें guide करते हैं. So I was also very good, and still I hope a good Pakistani daughter. So following what my parents guided me, even in my education, my father wanted me to be a doctor. It was his dream, so the dream passed on to me. And so I set out as a pre-med student. But when I graduated, my mother was very concerned, being the eldest daughter, ke pehli beti hai, jaldi se shadi kar do, because that's how she was brought up. You know, she's coming from a very traditional Pakistani culture family. तो उनका तो objective बन गया था कि जल्दी से शादी कर दो, जल्दी से शादी कर दो. And I tried to delay as much as I could, but then eventually my father even said, I want you to get married. So then I said, okay. So right after graduation, I got married. And so I graduated from UCLA, pre-med student. I had applied for medical school, but usse pehle ke koi jawab aaye, I was shipped off to Karachi from Los Angeles, and an arranged marriage to my husband. And that was the beginning of my new life, my journey in Pakistan. And so didn't know anybody, didn't have any even practical work experience, but started my family. But I had my first son, my second son, I had my daughter, and we found ourselves that we were in a financial difficulty. हम आपको पता है in Pakistan के the government sector schools are not that good, and so we try to send our kids to the English medium private schools. तो मेरे तीनों बच्चे, my daughter was about to start school as well, and my husband came to me and he said, Rahila, I don't think मैं तीनों बच्चों का afford कर सकता हूँ कि तीनों को मैं private school में डाल सकूँ, because you know it's very expensive. And as he said, guys, we're going to have to move them to the government or the local school. That was the end for me. That was like, no, that's just not acceptable. Because jo mere father the, he raised us with the belief that education is the most important thing in your life. कि आपकी तालीम, क्योंकि तालीम से आपका दिमाग खुलता है, आपका perspective change होता है, and तालीम से आपको opportunities मिलते हैं. And so मेरे लिए भी ये बहुत important value था. I said, no, I cannot do that. And I started to worry. I said, okay, how are we going to then make the money कि हम बच्चों को स्कूल में रख सके? And I wanted to provide the best for my family. My children are everything, you know. I don't know, do you have kids? Do you have children? You know? Yeah. So when you have children, it's like, alhamdulillah, your children become everything, the purpose of your life. And so I didn't know anybody. I had no work experience. I graduated 7 years ago, so I had a 7-year career gap even. And how cute.
Yeah.
Hi. Yes, the purpose of your father. Exactly. Absolutely. So 7-year career gap, and I needed to work, and I was a pre-med student. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, kisse baat karu, ka jao. So I talked to my friends, the mothers of my children, you know, the circles, the mother's mom circles, the kitty party circle. And I shared with them my problem. And one of my friends said, what do you want to do? I said, you know, I don't know. Maybe I love to teach. Maybe I could teach people some, you know, but I don't have any experience. What do you want to teach? I said, oh, I love to talk about like communication, and I read all these books. So communication, time management, emotional intelligence. That was my even background because I was a psychobiologist. They said, okay, we don't know what you're saying, but let me talk to my husband. So she talked to her husband, and her husband said, you know, we use a company and they do provide us HR work, HR consulting. Maybe I can introduce her to them. And so I got an introduction to a company in Karachi called Horizon, and they interviewed me. They made me put together a mini training and conduct it for them because I had never done this stuff. So I had no idea even what training is. So I said, okay, training क्या है? Training क्या? So I said, okay, अगर मैं बैठी होती और कोई मुझे सिखाने वाला होता तो मैं कैसे चाहती कि वो मुझे सिखाए. So I just created something जो मैं चाहती कि मैं अपने लिए, जैसे मैं अपने लिए बना रही हूँ. And I did that. I conducted it, and they hired me. And my very first project with this company, my first client was with Unilever. And the project was, in those days, it was called Lever Brothers before it changed the name. So the project was in the market, P&G had just entered the market, and they were giving Unilever a tough time because their salespeople were very polished and very professional. Unilever salespeople were not that good. And so they brought me in to audit their entire sales force, do a talent audit, and to tell them which people to keep, which are the competent, good quality people, which to keep, but they need training, and in which areas, and which people, okay, need to exit. They don't have much potential. So Karachi to Kashmir, I did an audit of over 2,000 salespeople and produced this report for Unilever. And that was a time when I got to work with Musharraf High. And so I was really inspired by her. She was the chairperson for Unilever at the time. And that was the beginning of my journey in this field of human resources and consulting.
Great, wonderful. What amazing story. What an inspirational story. I mean, really, really amazing. By the way, we're getting a very good feedback. Faiza Latif is watching us, and she's praising, I mean, love and prayers for her. I mean, aapke fan, alhamdulillah, har jagah pe. I'm also your great fan because I'm following you since 2007-8 जब मैं एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी में काम करता था, और पहली दफा आपका एक सेशन था वहां पर मैंने अटेंड किया था. आई मीन, सो लाइफ चेंजर सेशन, बहुत जबरदस्त था. सो बाय द वे, अभी हमें बहुत क्वेश्चंस भी जो हैं वो आना स्टार्ट हो गए हैं, और अब जरा हम अपने टॉपिक के बारे में डिस्कशन करते हैं कि किस तरह से हम जो है वो अपने एक्सपर्टीज और एक्सपीरियंस को कंसल्टिंग बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. अच्छा रीला, सबसे एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, एंड दैट इज ये जो अंदर डर और खौफ रहता है यार कि मैं तो काम कर रहा हूँ, जॉब कर रहा हूँ, 3 लाख रुपया मिल रहा है, 4 लाख रुपया मिल रहा है, महीने का तो कुछ आ रहा है, तो अगर एज ए कंसल्टेंट लॉन्च करूंगा अपने आप को तो आई डोंट थिंक सो शायद मैं इतना कमा पाऊंगा या नहीं कमा पाऊंगा. एक तो वो कहते हैं ना, लगी रोजी है भाई, 3 मतलब महीने के तो इतने पैसे मिल रहे हैं. तो कंसल्टेंसी, ये बड़ा डर और खौफ रहता है. जब मैं ये सेशन आपके साथ प्लान कर रहा था तो कुछ लोग हमारे एचआर की जो है उन्होंने कहा जी ये हमारे बिहाफ पर आप राहिला से यू कैन आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन दैट कि व्हाई वी ऑलवेज अफ्रेड कि जी हम कोई डिसीजन लेना भी चाहें तो हमारे सामने वो एक जिम्मेदारी वाला एलिमेंट आ जाता है हर महीने, यार भाई ये बच्चों की चीजें करनी है, तो अगर एज ए कंसल्टेंट आऊंगा तो रिस्क है. व्हाई देयर इज रिस्क इन्वॉल्व इन कंसल्टेंसी? तो ये हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे जी.
Yeah, in life, देखो, there's risk in everything. So हमें क्या करना है, हमें gains and the risk को evaluate करना है कि जो हम risk लेने जा रहे हैं, क्या इसका जो return हमें मिलेगा वो क्या है, and is it worth this effort? Because every time आप कोई नई चीज करने जाते हैं, आपका जो brain है, because my background is neuroscience and psychology, आपका brain कहता है मत जाओ, नहीं जाओ, खतरा है. Okay, stay in your comfort zone, right? You will be in danger. You might even die. So our brain tries, हमारे केयर करता है ना, हमारा दिमाग चाहता है कि हम जीते रहे, सर्वाइव करें, तो वो हमारे प्रोटेक्शन के लिए gives us this message to keep us in our comfort zone, to keep us secure. बट कंफर्ट जोन, अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं, आपको कैसे पता है कि आप अपने कंफर्ट जोन में है? किस किस्म की एक्टिविटीज कर रहे, कैसे महसूस कर रहे होते कंफर्ट जोन के अंदर, आप बताएं.
जी, मतलब सबसे पहले ये कि मतलब जो काम हम रोज डेली बेसिस पे कर रहे हैं वो अच्छा लगता है, कोई डिस्टर्ब ना करे आके, कोई ये ना पूछे। सम टाइम लगता है कि यार शायद माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट हो रही है, उस तरह की चीजें जो है आके कोई डिटेल से डिस्कशन स्टार्ट करते, तो आई मीन इस तरह की चीजें जो है वो आ रही होती है कि यार मतलब मैं जिस तरह चल रहा है, लाइफस्टाइल जिस तरह चल रहा है उसी तरह चलता रहे। सम टाइम आई मीन इट्स
It's like chill, right? It's chill. You don't have to make a lot of effort. काम भी वही है जो बगैर सोचे, it's routine, कर लेना, it's like habitual चीजें. And that is your comfort zone. But outside of your comfort zone, when you even think about कि मुझे बाहर निकलना है, तो दिल की धड़कन तेज होना शुरू हो जाती है, right? And you start getting panic, nervous. But if you notice, ये जो रिस्पॉन्स है बॉडी का, फियर का, पैनिक का, नर्वसनेस का, एंड इफ यू कंपेयर इट विद द रिस्पॉन्स जब आप एक्साइटेड होते, कोई नया काम करने जाते हैं, you're excited, you're curious, that response is exactly the same. The physiological response, the heartbeat going up, the level of adrenaline, cortisol, the muscle tensing, it's exactly the same. सिर्फ फर्क ये है कि आप उस चीज के बारे में सोचते क्या है, कि ये मेरे लिए खतरा है, नुकसान होने वाला है, या ये मेरे लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है, ये एक चैलेंज है, ये एक मौका है, right? So it's all how we think about it. So there is a risk every time हम जब अपने comfort zone से बाहर निकलते हैं, there is a risk. But one thing that sticks with me is something that जो Tony Robbins, आपने सुना होगा Tony Robbins, he's like a management guru, trainer. उसकी वैसे बातें मुझे इतनी अच्छी नहीं लगती है, मगर ये एक खास उसकी बात मुझे टिक गई, उसकी अच्छी लगी. And Tony Robbins ने ये कहा कि there are only two camps. There is a camp called the growing camp, and there's a camp called the dying camp. Only two camps. And you are in one of them. There is no in between. कि आप कहे कि नहीं मैं 50% हूँ दोनों camps के दरमियान. There's no in between. या तो इधर है, growing में है, या इधर है, dying में है. You need to make a decision every single day. Do I want to grow or do I want to die every single day of my life? If you stay in your comfort zone, it might feel good, it might be relaxed, but essentially you are dying. You're not growing, you're dying. And क्या पता आपका जो potential था, आपका जो potential जो कुदरत ने, अल्लाह ताला ने आपको दिया है, वो आपके साथ ही आपके कब्र में चला जाएगा. You're not unleashing जो आपका potential है. Another thing to explain this fear and why you need to push beyond the fear. One of the people I admire, his name is Jim Rohn. He's no longer, he passed away a few years ago, but he's an American business philosopher. बहुत अच्छी बातें कहता है. I highly recommend Jim Rohn. He said that while I was speaking on a stage and I was talking about, growing in business and achieving, and someone in the audience asked the same question जो आपने अभी पूछा, कि Mr. Rohn, I'm already making like $5,000 a month, and I have a house, I have a car, I have my family, I have everything in my life. Why should I do something else and make myself uncomfortable and take a risk? Why should I do it? I already have everything. So Jim Rohn told him, if your potential is $5,000 a month, then you are right where you need to be. But if your potential was $50,000 a month, was $1 million a month, then you are selling yourself short, and you are doing an injustice to the universe that has given you that potential.
Wow.
And so though that story really sticks with me, that the Jim Rohn's story, that I always want to make sure that I am achieving and working on my potential, and I help other people to also see that potential.
Great. मैं वही क्वेश्चन अब आपसे करना चाह रहा था, बहुत जबरदस्त बात आपने की, आई मीन रियली अमेजिंग। वो पोटेंशियल, वो टैलेंट का हमें पता कैसे चलेगा यार कि यार वाकई पोटेंशियल है, ये टैलेंट हमें है। अच्छा, शायद अंदर से कहीं से आवाज आती है यार कि हम कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो जैसे कि आपने बड़ा जबरदस्त, बड़ा अच्छे तरीके से बताया कि वो फियर जो है वो सामने आ जाता है। वो कई दफा फैमिली की शक्ल में सामने आ जाता है, कई दफा वो किसी जरूरत की शक्ल में सामने आ जाता है यार, कि अगर मैंने कोई रिस्क लिया तो शायद मैं कर पाऊं या ना कर पाऊं। तो एक तो वो पोटेंशियल जो है, हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि यार कंसल्टेंसी वाला मेरे में पोटेंशियल है। अब मैं चाहूंगा कि बहुत सारे ऐसे हमारे साथी हैं जिनको 20-20, 25-25 साल हो गए, लेकिन वो नौकरी किए जा रहे हैं और आगे भी उनका ये प्लान है कि हमने नौकरी ही करनी है। लेकिन आपने जिस तरह बताया कि आप अपने पोटेंशियल को देखें, अब मैं सिर्फ आपसे एक क्वेश्चन करना चाहूंगा कि किस तरह समय पता चलेगा कि हमारा पोटेंशियल क्या है?
देखो, इफ यू फील, एक अंदर की आवाज आती है, जैसे आपने कहा कि अंदर से एक चुभन होती है, एक पिंच होता है, यू नो,
या
कि लाइक मैं कभी नौकरी नहीं कर सकती बिकॉज आई कैन नॉट be subservient to someone, कि कोई किसी की इजाजत मिले, even that's why my husband has a tough time with me, कि किसी की इजाजत मिले तो मैं करूंगी, नहीं तो मैं नहीं करूंगी। I hate that type of restriction on me, right? तो एक पर्सनालिटी भी होती है, some people they like it, कि कोई हमें बताए कि ये करो तो हम ये करेंगे और फिर बैठ जाएंगे और इंतजार करेंगे अगले हुक्म के लिए। Some people have that personality and that's fine. However, even in today's era, in this environment that we are operating in, if you are putting all your eggs in one basket, अगर आप समझते हैं कि मेरी नौकरी हमेशा के लिए secure होगी, I don't have to worry कि किस दिन my company might downsize, might replace me, might say make me redundant, कभी नहीं होने वाला है, then you are lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself. So you need to think, okay, how can I make myself a valuable asset? कि रोजाना मैं नहीं डरूं कि मेरी नौकरी रहेगी या नहीं रहेगी, बल्कि मेरा एम्प्लॉयर डरे कि ये हमारे पास रहेगा या नहीं रहेगा। Let's make sure that we do everything to keep this person. And the only way to create that is if you become first an internal consultant. बाहर का कंसल्टेंट बनना बहुत दूर की बात है। शुरू तो करो अपने ही घर में, अपने ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, by becoming the internal consultant. The go-to person, jither management, everyone turns to you for the guidance and the advice and the know-how. If your company बाहर मुझे बुला रही है, तो it means कि आपने वो मकाम नहीं हासिल किया है अभी तक। Okay, if your company दूसरे consultants को बुला रही है for your field, for your function, then you are on shaky ground. जो आप समझते हैं कि मेरी नौकरी बहुत पक्की है और आखिरी सांस तक चलती रहेगी, already that is a big sign कि इतनी पक्की नहीं है आपकी नौकरी।
Agreed, wonderful, rightly said. अच्छा, रहीला, एक क्वेश्चन जब हमें आपके साथ सेशन प्लान करे थे तो लिंक्डइन पे एक क्वेश्चन जो था वो ये आया था कि कंसल्टेंट की जरूरत पड़ती क्यों है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को? क्या वो जो अभी आपने जिस तरह बताया कि एम्प्लॉय सही तरह काम कर नहीं रहे होते, और फिर दूसरा क्वेश्चन इससे मैं रिलेट करूंगा कि लोग जो करंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के एम्प्लॉयज होते हैं वो कहते हैं यार ये कंसल्टेंट क्या करेगा भाई, हमारी बातें सुनेगा, वही सुन के हमें बता देगा, तो व्हाई वी नीड कंसल्टेंट? तो ये दो क्वेश्चन है जो लाइक टू आंसर।
कंसल्टेंट्स की जरूरत इसलिए पड़ती है बिकॉज ईदर यू डोंट हैव द राइट मैन पावर, कि वो रोल मौजूद नहीं है, वो एक्सपर्टीज मौजूद नहीं है to help solve an important problem that you are facing at the moment. Consultant लाए जाते हैं for specific problems को solve करने के लिए, and अगर वो problem ongoing है, अभी तक resolve नहीं हुआ है, और जो हम तरीका अपना रहे हैं उसको solve करने के लिए वो तरीका नाकामयाब है, then the organizations turn to consultants. So sometimes people might think, oh, हमसे ही इंफॉर्मेशन ले रहे हैं, हमें फिर बता रहे, आपका इंफॉर्मेशन ही लेंगे ना. What is a consultant? A consultant, you can imagine, is like a doctor. You go to a doctor, तो डॉक्टर क्या करता है? आपसे इंफॉर्मेशन लेता है, किधर दर्द है, कब से दर्द हो रहा है, कहाँ तकलीफ हो रही है, कितनी इंटेंसिटी है, आपको टेस्ट भी करवाता है, राइट, लैब रिपोर्ट्स मंगाता है. That's what a consultant does. The consultant needs to understand you. आपसे इंफॉर्मेशन लेता है to pinpoint कि exactly मसला क्या है. एंड जब वो डॉक्टर देख लेता है कि अच्छा ये जो इंडिकेटर्स है, इससे पता चल रहा है कि मसला यहाँ पर है, तो फिर क्योंकि वो एक्सपर्ट है, राइट, द डॉक्टर, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट जनरल डॉक्टर, जनरल किसी की कोई भी फील्ड, जनरलिस्ट की कोई अहमियत नहीं है, एनी फील्ड. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्पेशलिस्ट. दैट्स व्हाट अ कंसल्टेंट इज. स्पेशलिस्ट वही तकलीफ को इतनी अच्छी तरह से जानता है कि वो जो आपको सोल्यूशन देगा, it helps to solve it effectively, efficiently and quickly, right? They have the solution आपके एक specific तकलीफ के लिए. Even consultant, when I mentor people to become consultants, first thing, you cannot be generalist. Generalist की कोई value नहीं है in any field. Consulting maybe. You need to zoom in and become a specialist in your field. So even HR is बहुत ही general है. HR के अंदर कई layers आपको deep जाने हैं to become a specialist. ये गलतियां मैंने अपने career में as a consultant शुरू में बहुत की थी. I started as a generalist. And if I only knew this secret, specialization is the secret. If I had done that earlier, I would have been more successful quicker and faster. So that is the key, is consultant has the specialized knowledge and expertise to solve a specific problem area.
Great, wonderful. Wonderful, rightly said. अच्छा, एक क्वेश्चन और जो हमें लिंक्डइन पे रिसीव हुआ था रेला, and that is a very interesting question as well. I mean, a bit controversial. And यार पाकिस्तान में नौकरी नहीं मिलती है, वो कंसल्टेंट बनना स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं. बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं कि जिनको जॉब्स नहीं मिलती हैं, तो वो फिर ऐसे अपने आप को फ्रीलांस कंसल्टेंट, फ्रीलांस आई मीन स्पेशलाइज एरिया में कई दफ़ा वो एज ए रिक्रूटर, कई दफ़ा वो एज ए ट्रेनर अपने आप को लॉन्च करते हैं. तो क्या व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट? दिस इज द राइट अप्रोच या फिर क्या करना चाहिए? आई मीन व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट?
Well, I have two opinions on that. One is the level of experience. Remember, हमने कहा कि consultant has to be specialist. अगर आप fresh grad है और आप बोल रहे कि मुझे नौकरी नहीं मिली है, तो चलो मैं consultant बन जाता हूँ. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. क्योंकि कम से कम, what I recommend people is कम से कम you should have at least 5 years of practical work experience in your pocket before you think about breaking into consulting. Okay, you need to understand the subject, right? Your patient. You need to be hands-on. जिस तरह doctor house job करता है, doctor सिर्फ degree बाहर निकल के doesn't start practicing. They have to do house job because until they don't have that practical experience, degree is nothing. It's just theoretical. Similarly, consultant, you need to have that practical house job. You need to work in the trenches. आपको समझना है organization के structures, pains, how they operate deeply before then you can guide them, right? You can't guide them if you don't have that practical. So if you have that experience, that house job is done, then the second challenge is being a subject matter expert. चाहे आप marketing है, engineering है, HR है, supply chain है, finance है, law है, quality है. You can be a consultant in any corporate field, okay? But there's one thing. You might be very knowledgeable in your area of expertise, but you might know half or zero about business, about entrepreneurship, about establishing a successful enterprise. These are two separate skill sets. your subject matter expertise, whatever field it is, and being an entrepreneur and running a business. These are two separate things. Just because you're a subject matter expert का मतलब नहीं है कि आप business में भी बहुत अच्छे होंगे. And also just being good in business without having a subject matter expertise is also not a formula for success. Consultancy में आपको दोनों चीजें चाहिए. Okay, you need subject matter expertise and you need to understand business, how to run a business, how to, especially a consulting business. That is a subject matter in its own.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, in whole session you are amazing and superb. मेरा दिल करे कि और भी आपसे हम बातें करें, लेकिन वहाँ पर टाइम थोड़ा सा कम है. तो अभी जो कुछ क्वेश्चंस थे जो हमें लिंक्डइन से रिसीव हुए थे, वो भी जो है वो हम दे रहे. एक क्वेश्चन हमें रिसीव हुआ था कि रहीला से हमारे बिहाफ पे ये भी पूछें कि अगर कोई ऐसे कंसल्टेंट अपने आप को लॉन्च करना चाह रहा है तो क्या वो 2-3 स्टेप ऐसे पर्टिकुलरली पहले ले अपने आप को करने के लिए, क्योंकि सब टाइम हम देखते हैं कि जैसे HR की भी सर्टिफिकेशन होती है, 3 मंथ्स का कोर्स होता है, 4 मंथ का मतलब कोर्स होता है. इसी तरह क्या अगर ऐसे कंसल्टेंट किसी ने अपने आप को लॉन्च करना है तो क्या कोई वो कोर्स करे, आई मीन कोई डिप्लोमा लाइक दैट, या क्या चीज जो है वो स्टेप्स हैं उसको लेने चाहिए?
Very good. That's a really good question. Consultancy mein, you don't even need to quit your job, your day job, to start preparing to be a successful consultant. In fact, मैं recommend करती हूँ कि आप शुरू करो while you are employed. Consultancy में the key factor for success are 3 things. Okay, 3 things. You need credibility. Okay, unquestionable credibility. कि जब आप बोले कि ये मेरा एरिया ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज है, लोग ट्रस्ट करे, लोग यकीन करे, बिलीव करे कि हाँ वाकई ये सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट है. यू नीड अनक्वेश्चनेबल क्रेडिबिलिटी. सेकेंड थिंग यू नीड इज अथॉरिटी. यू नीड अनगूगलेबल अथॉरिटी. मतलब कि जो आप गाइड कर रहे हैं वो कोई गूगल पे जाके सर्च करके उसको वो नहीं मिल जाएगा. आपका जो अथॉरिटी है is built on your expertise and your experience and your own intellectual property. कि आपका जो unique approach है किसी और के पास नहीं है, ना किसी वेबसाइट पे मिलेगा, ना किसी किताब में मिलेगा, ना किसी और कंसल्टेंट के पास मिलेगा. तो इट मीन्स कि यू रियली नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जो आपका फील्ड है और आपको अपने ओन एसेट्स बनाने हैं, इंटेलेक्चुअल मॉडल्स बनाने हैं, प्रोसेसेस बनाने हैं एज अ कंसल्टेंट. सो दैट इज अथॉरिटी. एंड द लास्ट एलिमेंट, द थर्ड इंग्रेडिएंट, you need unignorable visibility. You could have credibility, you could have authority, but if you are the world's best kept secret, then your consulting business will fail. You need to be what I say omnivisible. जिधर जाओ आप नजर आ रहे हैं, जिधर जिस महफिल में आपका एरिया की बात हो रही है, सब्जेक्ट की बात हो रही है, आपका नाम लिया जा रहा है. Okay, that is the visibility, the level of visibility you need to establish. और ये तीनों चीजें आप कर सकते हैं while you are still employed. You can establish credibility in your field, you can establish authority in your field, and you can establish omnivisibility in your field, in your industry for yourself while you are still employed, before you even start your own consulting endeavor. But ये तीन चीजें हैं, the critical ingredients. And unfortunately, people don't know this. मैं कितनी दफा देखती हूँ, I see in the market, people leave their job, they start consulting, and within a matter of months, they're back in a job again. Because they might be good in their field, but they don't understand that business is a whole different ball game. And कुछ critical चीजें हैं, ingredients, जो आपको बनाना पड़ता है before you can be successful in business as well. But I help my clients, my mentees to actually get those three things established.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. जबरदस्त. अच्छा रहीला, एक क्वेश्चन हमें लिंक्डइन पे वो भी रिसीव हुआ, वो एक खातून है, शी इज आल्सो वर्किंग एज ए कंसल्टेंट. उन्होंने कहा जी कि मैं कोई 2 सालों से एज ए कंसल्टेंट काम कर रही हूँ, छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स मिलते थे तो मैं करती रही, लेकिन हमारी मार्केट में इतने बड़े बड़े कंसल्टेंट्स बैठे हैं. मैं जब वो कोई प्रोजेक्ट लेने जाती थी तो वो वहां पर बैठे होते थे, और हमारी मार्केट वैसे ही जरा छोटी है इन अ सेंस के काम वैसे ही कम मिलता है लोगों को. तो वो कह रहे थे कि ऐसे लोगों के साथ जब जाते थे तो वो कह रहे थे यार उसको काम नहीं आता भाई, उसको काम मत दो, हम तुम्हें करके दिखाते हैं. तो वो जो एक बैक बाइटिंग और वो जो लेग पुलिंग और दूसरे का रिस्क लेके चले जाना, एक बड़े कंसल्टेंट को छोटे कंसल्टेंट को उस तरह से इम्पोर्टेंस ना देना, तो वो आप क्या समझती हैं कि ऐसे लोगों को आप क्या एडवाइस करती हैं जो कि बेचारे स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि वो कंटिन्यू करें, वो आगे बढ़ें, लेकिन जो शायद बहुत सालों से बैठे हैं मार्केट में, वो नहीं चाहते यार कि हमारे जो है मोनोपोली रहे, हम ही मतलब प्रोजेक्ट्स लेते रहे, तो नए लोग जब वो आगे ना आए, उनको आप क्या मैसेज देंगे?
You know, if जो मैंने आपको 3 चीजें ये बताए, credibility, authority and visibility, ये 3 चीजें अगर आपके पास नहीं है तो फिर ऐसे लोग, ऐसे other organizations, consultants, then they can हावी हो सकते हैं आपके ऊपर, right? But if you have these 3 things, अगर आपके पास ये 3 चीजें हैं, then you wipe everybody out. वे कोई competition नहीं है आपके सामने. There's no one there. If you look at my example, I mean, I was nothing. I had no experience, no work experience, no connections, no. I didn't go to school here. मेरे कोई दोस्त या extended network business. I had no clue about anything. But what I did is I knew my subject matter. Right? I was qualified in my area, which is when I launched, I focused on my core area, which is psychobiology, and I focused on emotional intelligence. This is 20 years ago. अब आज emotional intelligence अभी भी नया है, but 20 साल पहले I launched on my area of expertise, which was emotional intelligence, and I built on that. And then जो authority, मैं अपने processes, अपने tools, I had no clue about HR, कि HR में है क्या. तो मैंने क्या किया, मैंने अपने psychology, human behavior के models को adapt किए, and I presented them. So this is the authority. I am introducing the new way of doing the work. HR वाले हमने MBA में ये सीखा और ये प्रोसेस होता है, ये होता है. I don't know कि आपने क्या सीखा, but I know human behavior, and I know that this is the process that will help get productivity, this will help get engagement, this will get performance. तो मैंने अपने models, अपने processes, अपना approach introduce किया, तो that established authority, right? Then I am one of the early adapters of social media. LinkedIn, being visible, making posts, getting out there, building that presence and being everywhere, writing articles, even with the Dawn newspaper, that visibility, being out there. Visibility is the key. If you have these 3 things, okay, credibility, authority, visibility, there is no competition for you. In fact, you don't need to go to anybody. आपको कभी किसी के पास जाना नहीं पड़ेगा कि काम दे दो, कोई काम है, कोई प्रोजेक्ट है, हमारी तरफ भी दे दो. I've never done that. Never. But my phone rings every day. My email box is full every day. Because you're the only option now. You're the only solution there who can provide the result that the client is looking for when you have those 3 things. So you don't have to worry about competition. You don't have to worry about ke purane consultant, big names aise karte hai. They are irrelevant to you. They don't matter to you. In fact, जो ऐसे करते हैं वो अपना ही नाम खराब करते हैं. Okay, they look bad. Okay, because if you speak bad about someone, you are the bad person, not the other person. You are the bad person. So they become irrelevant to you. तो इसके बारे में तो आपको परेशान होने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. आपको सिर्फ अपने ऊपर फोकस करना है और अपने अंदर ये 3 चीजें मजबूत करने हैं: credibility, authority, and visibility. That's it. There's no competition for you.
Great, wonderful. I mean, what a contribution. I feel charged and motivated after listening your wonderful thoughts. And thank you very much, Rahila, for giving us. I mean, it's a wonderful session. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
I mean, we can go on. I don't mind. Mera to din hai that I'm in Houston right now. So if there are questions, yeah, we can answer questions.
We are getting a good feedback right now. और हमें क्वेश्चन जो हैं वो भी आ रहे हैं. So there is one comment. I think there is a problem of internet.
Yeah. Okay, now I can hear you.
Yeah, so I said that I don't believe in this theory that the big giants are grabbing consultancy of starters. It's all about credibility. So try to be hard worker and create your credibility to be the space to be the choose. I mean, what you said, I mean, literally. So yeah, he's right.
Yes, Faizan. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Absolutely.
So the next comment is from Invoz on Hassan Raza. Sounds like being hard these days.
I think he's commenting on your unshaven look. Hassan, your voice is like robotic. I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear your voice. Okay, it came back. Okay, you're back.
You're
back.
facing some internet issue. I'll try my level best to fix it.
You're back. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. So sorry, the internet is not working. Yeah. So Zoya Osman, authority, credibility, and visibility make you stand out. Thank you, Hassan, for in such an inspiring session. Thank you. Credit goes to Rahila. मैं तो खैर कुछ भी नहीं. I mean, she is amazing and super. मैं तो खुद इनका बहुत बड़ा फैन हूँ और मैंने खुद इनको थैंक्स बोला. उन्होंने हमें जो है वो सारे क्वेश्चन वो भी रिसीव रहे हैं और आहिस्ता से जो लोग हैं हमें और भी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह यूट्यूब पे भी अभी देख रहे हैं और फेसबुक पे भी और लिंक्डइन पे भी. सो हम भी चाहेंगे कि आपके साथ एक रैपिड फायर का जो हमारा सेगमेंट है वो हम आपसे करें. अगर कोई क्वेश्चन बीच में आता है सो वो भी हम क्वेश्चन जो हैं वो आपसे ले लेंगे. सो रेडी फॉर द रैपिड फायर सेगमेंट?
Ready. Let's do it.
Great, wonderful. So let me ask the first question regarding rapid fire, and that is, सबसे पहले आप हमें ये बताइए कि हम पाकिस्तानियों को सबसे कम काम क्या करना चाहिए?
अपने एहसास से कम करो. एहसास से कमतरी. You are amazing. Pakistanis are the most amazing people in this world, and I am completely unbiased. Okay. I can base that on my experience कि मैं पूरी दुनिया में काम करती हूँ हर culture के साथ. अभी भी I'm in Houston. I work with people from all walks of life. But what I see, the potential in Pakistanis, the heart, the generosity of spirit is tremendous. And the brain extremely creative, extremely genius, but they don't get channeled in the right direction. They get channeled galat kaam mein, ya waste of time mein. So much potential. एहसास से कम से करना छोड़े, कम करे, and value the natural capability Allah Ta'ala has given you, that spirit, that passion, and channel it to do amazing things. Okay, so sab kam kare, एहसास से कम से.
Great, great. Okay, the next question is that as an emerging HR leader, what keeps you up at night?
My next big thing. I'm an entrepreneur, and I cannot sit still. Sometimes people say, why you torture yourself? Why don't you just relax? You have everything. You relax. No, I have to keep going. Next big thing, the next big thing, the next big thing. And that's why I started the next big thing, which is I started a business incubator. And I'm in the US right now. And aajkal I'm growing an audience on the app Clubhouse. Are you on Clubhouse? Are you on Clubhouse? You are
No.
on the Clubhouse? Okay, if anyone wants a Clubhouse invite, it's by invitation only. Just message me or just drop it and I'll give you a VIP link to join. You want to join Clubhouse because that's where all the people are. That's where all the networking is happening. All the deals and opportunities are being made. So I'm working on creating a business incubator to help people launch their own consulting businesses. And I got two gentlemen who are Pakistani origin but are in the US, who will be sponsoring some scholarships for this incubator. They said, we want to help. We want to invest in the people in Pakistan. And so I'm really excited. And I just met them on Clubhouse. And they heard what I was working on. And they said, we want to support you in this. We want to help our countrymen. So I'm super excited. That's the next big thing for me.
Great, wonderful. Okay, the next question is that describe today's HR in one line.
Dinosaur.
Great.
The dinosaur. They're extinct. I'm sorry, HR people. HR is easily replaceable with AI now. Okay. If you think payroll, hiring, onboarding, organizing and scheduling training, managing employee data, that's a job you're going to have for long. It's already on its way out. Okay. It's a dinosaur. HR is gone. It's a whole different world now out there. You need to reposition. You need to think, how can I add value now to help organizations? What does my organization need? How can I add the value? Being an admin and the traditional HR is out. It's gone. You won't be around for long.
Great, agreed. Okay, the next question is that who is your inspiration to be a HR professional or consultant?
You know, I get inspired by so many people and for different things, different alag cheezon ke liye. Right now, I'm in a group on Clubhouse. It's called What It Takes to Build a $1 Million Biz. And the people in that group are, I'm just enthralled by. They are the best entrepreneurs, people who have built multi-million dollar businesses, but they are the most genuine people and most giving people that I've ever met in my life. And so each one of them, I'm inspired by different angles of their personality, their work. And so different people for different reasons.
Great. Rightly said, rightly said. Next question is very interesting. A stranger's first impression of yours would be?
Of me?
Yeah.
You tell me, I don't know. I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I grew up, I'm the eldest in my family, and I'm the daughter. And my father never made me feel like I'm a daughter or I'm incapable or I'm not competent or I can't do something. He always gave me, this encouragement. And I always thought of myself as being very, very tough and very strong, very strong and kind of rough and tough person. So when I started working and people would tell me, Rahila, we love your soft voice. We love the way you explain. You're so soft and so calm. It created a cognitive dissonance in my head. I couldn't understand कि ये क्या क्या रे? मैं तो बड़ी tough and rough किस्म की हूँ. I'm not feminine. I'm really like, And जब लोग मुझे, oh, you're so soft, you're so gentle, you're so मुझे समझ ही नहीं आता था कि बोलते क्या है. Then I had to look at myself in the video. I had to hear my voice, and I was shocked. I said, "Oh my God, देखो मैं अपना हाथ कैसे हिला रही हूँ. It's so feminine." Oh my God, I sound like a girl. I couldn't understand that. So थोड़ा सा maybe they see me as very soft, gentle, feminine, but believe me, इधर दिमाग मेरा कुछ और कहता है. मेरा दिमाग कहता है, you're so tough, you're so. So there's a conflict with me here.
Okay. The next question is that, what are your biggest strengths?
I asked this question because I also face के imposter syndrome. वो एक आवाज दिमाग में होती है कि oh, you're not good enough. And typically जो लोग quite accomplished होते हैं अपने life में, काफी चीजें achieve करते हैं, उनको ये feel शुरू होता है कि I'm not deserving. I didn't do much. मैंने क्या किया? I'm not at that level. Why are they thinking I'm so good? They don't see that in themselves. I experienced this all the time, right? And so I did an exercise. मैंने अपने best friend से पूछा, and one of my children, my son, I asked them, describe me in 5 words. How would you describe me? And so I have it on my computer right in front of me because I read it every day to remind myself क्योंकि वो imposter syndrome बार-बार आता है तो मैं पढ़ती हूँ. So I got the word जो दोनों ने बोला, resilient. You don't give up. It doesn't matter कि जिंदगी कुछ भी सामने फेंक दे, कोई भी hurdle आपको मिल जाए, you make it through. If you want to do something, you pick yourself up and you keep going until you don't achieve it. You are very resilient, and you're very experimental, trying new things. My friend said you're a trailblazer. मतलब कि you're leading the trail for others to follow. Log look at you, कि Rahila, what is Rahila doing? And then they follow you. They copy what you're doing because you lead the way in the industry, in your field, in your life. So I was really touched when I heard that. I was like, oh, I didn't see those things in me. So maybe these are my strengths. I like to think.
Great, wonderful. That's all from Rapid Fire. Thank you very much for your time. अच्छा, कुछ questions जो थे वो LinkedIn पे हमें receive हुए थे. It's not relevant to a topic, but ये कि आज हमारे साथ हैं, वो हमारी तरफ खुशकिस्मती है. तो एक consultancy है, he's an emerging consultant. He said कि जी हमारे बेहस पर ये जरा आप रहीला से जरूर पूछें कि 40 years एक बंदा जो है वो मतलब 40 साल का जब हो जाता है तो वो समझता है यार कि मुझे कंसल्टेंसी की तरफ चले जाना चाहिए. सबसे पहले तो रहीला से, जिस तरह अभी आपने ये बताया कि 5 साल कम से कम आपकी एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए, तो लोग क्या समझते हैं, जैसे पर्टिकुलरली एक लोग जो होते हैं वो कहते हैं यार कि आफ्टर 40 जो है ना हम एज ए को लॉन्च करेंगे. तो आप क्या एडवाइस करते हैं कि व्हाट इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू लॉन्च कंसल्टेंट?
No, वो जमाना खत्म हो गया है. That was the old way of consulting. कि रिटायरमेंट के बाद हम कंसल्टेंट बन जाएंगे. No, that is gone. अब उन किस्म के कंसल्टेंट्स की कोई अहमियत नहीं है. Nobody wants them because they're old, they're outdated, they're not with the new times. The best time to launch as a consultant is after about 5 years of work experience. You have hands-on in the trenches, but consultancy का concept बदल गया है. पहले पुराने ज़माने में consultant वो होता था जो उसने पहले कर चुका है और वो सिर्फ copy paste करके आपको देता था. I've done this, so copy paste, fill in the blank, yellow. Consultant would replicate the past. If you are trying to replicate the past, you will fail. And if you're hiring people जो आपको replicate करते पुराने ज़माने की चीजें, you are getting ready to fail. Aaj consultancy is not about replicating the past. Aaj consultancy is about creating the future. So जो लोग समझते कि 40 साल के बाद रिटायर होगा तो कंसल्टेंट बनूंगा, it's not going to work. Sorry, it's not going to work. Consulting is now a career option. It's a career track. And those of you जिनको मजा आता है to create, like independence, have own ideas, like to put those in action, right? And like to solve problems, you will be very successful as a consultant. But if you are an order taker, living in the past, not a learner, not curious, right? Don't like to risk, don't like to try new things, you will not be successful as a consultant, unfortunately.
Agree. अच्छा रहीला, एक क्वेश्चन फैजान इलाही का है, and what is your take if someone is working in organization and doing part-time consultancy? Is it fine?
It's perfectly fine. If your employer is okay with it, you have the permission, I say go for it. You should do it because you are building your experience and you're building your client success stories. So when you maybe decide that, okay, now I want to go full time into consulting, you're not going to start from zero. You will already have established a good foundation जिसके ऊपर आप फिर build करेंगे further, right? So I always recommend you start with either you have a savings, okay? You should have at least 6 to 12 months of savings in your bank account जो आप बगैर परेशानी के रोज सुबह उठे तो ये नहीं सोचे कि इस महीने के बिल्स कहाँ से मैं भरूंगा, right? How am I going to pay the bill? How am I going to provide for my family? How am I going to, no. If you are worried every single day, your consulting will fail because you will then, when जब भी आप काम करेंगे, clients से मिलेंगे, आप desperate aura, desperate energy लेके आएंगे. And nobody likes desperation. Clients are attracted to confidence. As a consultant, they have to have confidence. Imagine आप डॉक्टर के पास जाए और डॉक्टर परेशान है, घबरा रहा है, नर्वस है, आप थोड़ी उसको बोलेंगे हाँ मेरा हार्ट सर्जरी करो. No, but even if it's someone new, fresh doctor, but that doctor has the qualification, has done the house job, and has built a bit of clientele, and they're confident. They make you feel relaxed in their presence. They build the trust. You say, okay, I'm going to go with this person. So it's the same thing. Okay, you need to have that a little bit of a backup in your bank account, ताकि आप परेशान नहीं हो पैसों के लिए while you are building your business. Right? So do it on the side, build that assets, build the credibility, build the authority, build the visibility while you are still employed. And then it will be very easy when you make the transition full time.
Great, wonderful. Okay, Rahila, that would be our final question because हम आपसे बात करते रहेंगे तो लोग ढेर सारे क्वेश्चन जो है वो पूछ रहेंगे और आपने हमें आधे घंटे का टाइम दिया था. I mean, so nice of you कि आप हमारे सेशन जो है वो 1 घंटे तक हो गया, and thank you very much for your time. So the final question that is from Imran Shafiq, and that is asking that how can you say non-technical consulting recipes also apply on technical consulting?
everything is technical. There's no non-technical. A consultant is an expert. And that is a technical, whatever field you are in, it doesn't matter. Every consultant is an expert in their field. And for that consultant, that is a technical expertise. If you're not in my field, you don't have my technical expertise. Okay? So every consultant is technical. It's the same thing.
Agreed, rightly said. Okay, the final question, and that is the people are following us on LinkedIn, particularly those that who are the job seekers. So fresh graduates जो कि अभी workplace market में enter हो रहे हैं. So what kind of advice that you want to give to them? I mean, any 3 or 2 4 advices that किस तरह से वो workplace market में enter हो?
When you, in terms of job hunting, or I didn't understand the question. थोड़ा सा elaborate कर दे.
In terms of job hunting, जो आना चाह रहे हैं fresh graduates market में, workplace में, new workplace में enter होना चाह रहे हैं, तो उनको आप क्या advice करेंगी, मतलब जो आप बेहतर समझती हैं? जी.
When you're starting off in your career, जब आप even any job that you begin with, start developing the skills of an entrepreneur from day one. Okay, entrepreneur होता क्या है? Entrepreneurial का मतलब है कि you look for the problem, you look for the pain, and you present the solution. That is what it means to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurial spirit. Every employer, every organization needs internal entrepreneurs. Intrapreneurs कहते हैं ना उनको, intrapreneurs, because this is a skill. So start developing this skill from day one. Look for problems. Think of ideas, approaches, how to solve those problems. Once you start developing the skill, this is the skill that you will need to be a successful entrepreneur. So start from day one. Look for problems, okay, and think about how can I solve that problem.
Great, wonderful. Rightly said. And thank you very much for your time, support, and love. I really enjoyed the whole session, and Alhamdulillah, I think session went really well. We got a wonderful feedback. हमें लोगों ने YouTube पे भी देखा, Facebook पे भी, और LinkedIn पे भी. And again, thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Anytime. I appreciate you inviting me.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching to this episode of Pep Talk Pakistan. Rahila Narejo was amazing and superb. You can follow her on LinkedIn. I mean, उनकी post जो है आती रहती हैं, और different posts जो हैं वो बड़ी ज़बरदस्त, और मैं खुद भी फॉलो कर रहा हूँ LinkedIn पे. तो अगर आप लोग भी इनको फॉलो करना चाहें तो LinkedIn पे आप इन्हें फॉलो कर सकते हैं, रहीला Narejo.
And if you're interested in consulting, I've created a Facebook group called Consulting Out Loud. You can join that Facebook group for resources and support and guidance. And also on Clubhouse, there's a club called Consulting Out Loud. And so I'll be sharing more resources and tools for those of you who are in consulting and want to grow your business or are thinking of breaking into consulting.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you. अच्छा जी, अब हम आपसे इजाजत चाहेंगे. इंशाल्लाह ताला अनकरीब एक नई शो, नए टॉपिक और नए मेहमान के साथ आपकी खिदमत में दोबारा हाजिर होंगे. Do share your feedback with us so we can improve accordingly. Thank you. दुआओं में याद रखिएगा. पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद. Thank you very much, Rahila, once again. Thank you.